Have you ever really stopped to think about what it means to keep a piece of the wild? I mean, to not just house an animal, but to actually replicate its entire world, right down to the star it orbits? Let's get into it, because for one particular creature, getting its own personal sun right is, and I mean this literally, the difference between life and death. So picture this. Deep in the sun-scorched deserts of Australia, you've got the bearded dragon. This animal evolved over millions of years to thrive there. Every single part of its being is tuned to that environment. And the sun, well, the sun isn't just for warmth. It's the actual engine for its entire biology. You could say sunlight is its lifeblood. And that, right there, is the big question, isn't it? When we bring this incredible, sun-worshipping animal into our homes, what happens when we swap out the vast Australian sky for a light bulb in a glass box? Can we really truly replicate a star? And what happens if we get it wrong? To really understand what's at stake, you have to see the bearded dragon for what it is. It's basically a sun-powered life form. For these guys, specific kinds of light are just as vital as the bugs they eat. Seriously, it's not about just feeling cozy and warm, it's about being able to process food at the most basic cellular level. You know, this isn't just some casual observation we're making. Scientists actually have a system for this. It's called the Ferguson Zones, and bearded dragons, they're classified as zone 3 to 4. Now that's just the scientific way of saying they're absolutely hardwired to need intense, direct sunlight for a big chunk of their day. It's not a suggestion, it's a biological command. So, what happens when that command isn't met? Well, that's when we enter the land of shadows. And this is where a terrifyingly common and totally preventable illness is hiding: metabolic bone disease, MBD. This is the direct, devastating result of a failed sun. The way it works is both simple and absolutely horrifying. You can feed your dragon the perfect diet, dusted with all the calcium in the world. But without the right kind of UVB light, its body can't do a thing with it. It can't absorb it. So its system starts desperately pulling calcium from the only place it can, its own skeleton. The bones get soft, they get brittle, they get deformed. It is quite literally a sickness born from shadows. To really get why UVB is so non-negotiable, we've got to zoom in. I mean, way, way in. We're about to take a little journey into a single skin cell to see one of the most incredible processes in all of biology, the body's own personal sun factory. All right, check this out. It all starts with a tiny particle of UVB light, the catalyst, hitting the skin. Boom. Instantly, that little photon of light triggers a conversion, changing a molecule related to cholesterol into something new. But wait, it's not done. The dragon's own body heat from basking under its heat lamp performs the final step, the activation. And that's what creates the vitamin D3 it needs to use calcium. It's a perfect 3-step factory powered by light and heat. And here's the brilliant part. This is why just dumping D3 powder on their food isn't the best way. The dragon's body is a master of self-regulation. It makes exactly the amount of D3 it needs, and then the factory just shuts off. This natural off switch is amazing because it prevents the D3 toxicity that can easily happen with supplements. It's a perfect, foolproof system. So our challenge as keepers is massive. How in the world do we take that perfect, life-giving process and bottle it? How can we possibly use our technology to replicate a star inside a little glass box? All right, let's talk about the hardware. Okay. Here's a quick and dirty breakdown of the tech you'll find out there. You've got the long T5 linear tubes, you have the all-in-one mercury vapor bulbs, and then you have those little screw-in compact or coil bulbs. And as you can see, they are absolutely not created equal. The T5 tube, that gets an A+. The mercury vapor bulb, it's okay for really specific large setups. But those compact bulbs, total F. We just cannot recommend them, period. And this slide shows you exactly why we give those grades. A T5 linear tube, it's like a warm, gentle blanket of UVB that covers a huge portion of the tank. This creates a proper light gradient, so the dragon can move in and out to regulate itself, just like it would in the wild. A compact bulb, on the other hand, creates a tiny, harsh spotlight. It's an all-or-nothing deal that leaves most of the enclosure in a dangerous UVB shadow. So if T5 tubes are the clear winner, which ones should you get? Well, the two titans in the industry are Arcadia and ZoomEd. The Arcadia 12% is pretty much the gold standard. It's what most vets and expert breeders will tell you to get.
The ZoomEd ReptiSun 10.0 is a fantastic, widely available alternative, which honestly makes it the best value for most people. You really can't go wrong with either of these two. Now here's a super crucial point, the replacement schedule. These bulbs wear out. Their UVB output drops way before the visible light burns out. The Arcadia bulb needs to be replaced once a year, every 12 months. The ZoomEd needs to be swapped out every 6 months. So yeah, the Arcadia costs a bit more up front, but when you do the math over 2 years, the total cost is basically identical. Before we go any further, I want to just stop on this number for a second. 2. A T5 tube used without a reflector is wasting almost half its energy, just shooting light up into the ceiling. A simple reflector hood focuses all that wasted light down where it needs to be, which can literally double the amount of UVB your dragon is getting. This isn't an optional add-on, folks, it's mandatory. Okay, so you've got the right bulb, you've got a reflector, you're almost there. Now we just have to put it all together to create that perfect sky inside your enclosure. This really just comes down to a few simple, unbreakable rules for a long, healthy life.
Let's walk through them. 1. Position. You want it to cover about 2/3 of the tank on the same side as the heat lamp. This creates that crucial light gradient. 2. Distance. This is critical. Follow the manufacturer's directions, and this is a big one. Remember that a mesh screen can block 30 to 40% of UVB, so you have to mount the bulb closer to compensate. 3. The reflector. We just talked about this. Never, ever use a bare tube. And 4. A timer. Set it for a consistent 10 to 14-hour cycle every day. Consistency is absolutely key.
And just to make sure it all really sinks in, here are the 5 most common and potentially deadly mistakes we see people make. Number 1, using a compact or coil bulb. 2, forgetting to replace the bulb on schedule. Set a calendar reminder. 3, placing the bulb too far away. 4, not using a reflector. And finally, putting glass or plastic between the bulb and the dragon. Those materials block almost all UVB rays. Just avoid these 5 things and you're going to be in great shape. When it's all said and done, it comes down to this. For that little piece of the Australian desert living in your home, you are the weather. You are the sky. You are the keeper of their sun. And that is an awesome responsibility. So, make it shine.